delighted to say I'm joined by the only Irish rugby player plying his trade in Japan. It is Harrison Brewer of the Panasonic Wild Knights. How are you, Harrison?
Not too bad, thanks man for having me.
Oh, not at all. This is amazing, isn't it? The energy of Irish fans, the buzz around match day here, and all the people from both sides who have shown up to watch the teams play today.
Oh no, it's amazing. The in France, they put a lot of work in over here for this World Cup, and I think they're doing a great job. They're very helpful all together. So no, it's been amazing and good to get a game in today too.
100%. So for people who might not know your story, talk us through your background. You're obviously a former Ireland under-20 international.
Yeah, so basically I was in the Leinster Academy for 4 years, but unfortunately didn't push on from there. So went to New Zealand for 2 years, and yeah, found myself out here. So I was with NTT Docomo last year, and I'm now with the Panasonic Wild Knights. But yeah, loving every minute of it.
Panasonic Wild Knights are a team based in the west of Tokyo.
Yeah, correct, in a place called Ota. Small little country. It was quite difficult at the start, very small place, but now it's good. Any chance to kind of get into Tokyo, get in there, so now it's good.
Robbie Deans is your head coach.
He is, yeah, so it's brilliant having him as a coach, and anyway, so I've learned a lot from him in the last couple of months, so now it's good being coach one.
What is the fibre of Japan rugby? How does it differ from any other environment that you've seen?
I think initially because the squads are kind of mixed half and half with company players and professional players. So a lot of the companies, like boys would on our days off, would go into work, and the professionals would have the day off. So it's kind of just get that mixture of the two sets of players that I found a bit different. But I mean, when the company players are in, they're brilliant.
What do you mean by company player?
So basically, they'd work for the company, so they're not like paid as professional rugby players. They are, so like, say if we have a long lunchtime, they'd go into work and stuff like that. So it's very different. Like professionals, we have it kind of easy. They work very hard.
So when you say work for the company, as in they work for the rugby club itself, or Panasonic?
No, like for Panasonic, as in like the whole, like in a factory or in the offices, etc. So they go in for their office jobs. Yeah, so it's bizarre how they work, but they're really tough workers.
And how does that environment kind of change then in the dressing room? Like you've already mentioned it there is two different people from two different backgrounds. Are the professionals a bit closer because they're putting everything into this, or how does it work?
Yeah, so that's what we're trying to, in Panasonic, we're trying to like get everyone to connect together a bit more, because there is like that clique of professional guys and then the company players. But right now we're doing really well to integrate everyone together. So, but I think it's every team's having that issue. So, but no, yeah, we're getting better at it.
It's been an interesting time for Japan rugby, I guess, post 2015. You obviously had this big upsurge in interest. Speaking to a couple of people here, it seems that that's waned a little bit over the last 4 years, but obviously this and everything that we're seeing here over the last couple of weeks and the next few weeks perhaps might reinvigorate that.
Yeah, no, 100%. And like I said, they put in so much work for this, and for a country, like, you wouldn't think, but like rugby here is absolutely huge, like massive. And I think with this World Cup and what they're doing here is going to really reinvigorate the whole rugby scene.
Is it like pockets of hugeness when it comes to the rugby interest? Because when I was in Tokyo, there wasn't really a sense of rugby being a huge sport there. Granted, it's tough to penetrate a huge market like Tokyo. Is where you're based more of a hardcore fan base and things like that?
Yes and no. Like our stadium is in a place called Kumagai, so it's about half an hour away. So like Kumagai is a complete rugby town. So a lot of teams would have their stadiums in like further away from where they're actually based. So in around like stadiums is where like a lot of the rugby is talked about, and they love it around there.
What are Japanese rugby fans like?
Crazy. But no, in a good way, really good way. But yeah, Jesus, they love it. They'll travel top of Japan down to the bottom to see a game. It's crazy, and then they'll know your name and all this. But no, they're very good, very good.
Are you here for the long term?
I'm not too sure. I'm really enjoying my time right now.
Yeah.
It's always been a dream of mine to maybe come home and potentially play provincial rugby, but we'll see what happens. But at the minute, really enjoying myself.
Has there ever been any sounds from back home, seeing what you're doing in this part of the world and saying we need to get them back into one of the provinces?
Nothing as of yet. I've just been doing my own thing out here. So maybe especially with the top league coming up with a lot of good rugby players coming in, might get a bit more interest. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But right now, I'm very content.
It's not been a bad life, has it, going from Irish under-21 or Irish under-20 international to New Zealand to Japan, getting to see a bit of the world while playing rugby?
Yeah, 100%. Geez, I've enjoyed it. I'm kept myself very lucky. Got to do a lot of travel, meet lots of people, and yeah, being in Japan for the World Cup, just how it happened is amazing. So yeah, really enjoying it.
How are Ireland going to get on in this World Cup?
Initially coming into the tournament, they weren't looking too good, but having Johnny back at 10, well, Jack Hardy today, but I think we should be okay.
Yeah.
Get out of the pool and then see how we go against New Zealand or South Africa.
Will we beat the Springboks?
Yeah, why not?
Nice one. Thanks a million, Harrison.